All right, we on, bro. We on.
We up,
So what's been going on, man?
man. Hey, it's crazy out here, man. Here we go again.
Right.
But nah, yeah, man. Look, I had some time to, marinate on what happened Sunday and kind of recover.
Right.
It's been a little tough, but you know, I'm back at it. But what's up with you, man? You looking very patriotic right now, Keith Murphy.
Back at work, bro. I took like a month off. I ain't do nothing. I
Man,
used all my little leave up.
Man, you back in the rhythm yet, or you still a little on leave a little bit? I remember those days.
I'm still on leave a little bit.
Man, it takes you at least about 2 weeks, I think, man, to really get back off leave. I think, especially like block leave, like the holiday leave.
Right.
But but no, man. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, we got some big sports news going on right now. Well, nah, I guess big, not big, but we got a lot of sports news, I should say.
Right.
What's going on with these coaches?
We gonna see. That's what's crazy right now.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know one thing, man. Is it cold out there, man? What's up? We in the dirty South, man. Why is it so damn cold out here,
It's ridiculous, bro. I mean, it is ridiculous.
bro? It's stupid. It's like it last night it dropped down, I think, to 12.
Yep,
Uh,
it dropped down to 11 here in Marietta. I'm a
man,
little north of you.
right? And I'm like, got to leave all your water running and everything. You know what I'm saying? So the pipes don't get frozen up. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's so cold. I'm about to pour some whiskey in my hot chocolate. I mean, it's crazy out here, man.
Well, we have big news. Uh, what do you think, man? Y'all retaining Mike McCarthy.
Uh, when I say it's big news, then I kind of say it's not big news because I saw it coming. You know what I mean? I was asked if I think you asked me as a matter of fact the other day if I think that we're gonna get rid of him. I said probably not.
You did.
Um, I'm trying not to be. I'll try not to give an emotional answer. I'll try to be as objective as possible and try to like dial into what Jerry Jones was thinking when he made this decision.
Right.
Um, well, I mean, he said. I guess he said his quotes were we're really close. He said he thinks we can still run it with what we got. You know, you alluded to Mike McCarthy's regular season record. 12. The 12 win, 3-12 win seasons. I think on one hand you can look at it like, yo, why it's like insanity, man. Why are we trying to do this again? We're seeing the results of. We're seeing what's happening.
I'm
The other
cool with it. I
the
think it's
other
a good look.
the other hand, well, I don't know where you're coming from when you say that, Keith. Because you on one hand, you could be speaking as a sports fan, or you could be speaking as a San Francisco 49ers fan who
Now,
enjoys.
now I'm speaking as a San Francisco 49ers fan. I'm gonna
Okay,
tell you the best day of my life as a young kid
what was that,
when
Keith?
they uh when they fired Jimmy Johnson.
Oh yeah, that was everybody's. Anybody who wasn't a Dallas fan, that was probably their favorite day. But
Oh, I think y'all dynasty would have extended into the early 2000s if y'all kept Jimmy.
oh, most deaf, most deaf.
And so we stopped y'all from winning four in a row. Y'all won three out of four, which was crazy. But then he fired Jimmy, and I was like, cool. That's a
Well,
great look.
that third was Barry Switzer.
I know, but that was still Jimmy's team.
It was Jimmy's team. But see, you gotta be careful with that though, man, because if you're gonna discount Barry Switzer, man, I mean, you can realm into. I mean, are you gonna discredit Mike Tomlin for that Pittsburgh team?
Nah, not at all.
So I mean, I said that to say, yeah,
But Mike Tomlin has proven in the long term to be a great coach. Switzer flamed out within a year or so after winning,
but he
right?
won, right, but he also won a national championship as a coach.
Well, I mean, I think college, like, have you heard Nick Saban's take on his little spill with the NFL?
Um, Probably, but go ahead and tell us what's up.
Okay, so Nick Saban said you can do everything right in the NFL and still lose. You could draft the right people, do all in college. If I do everything right, as meticulous as I am, as attention to detail as I am as Nick Saban, I can. If I recruit 5 stars and I get the right X's and O's, offensive coordinators, whatever, we're gonna win. And what did he do in college? Dominate. Whereas in the NFL, would change his coaching career. People's like, oh, he couldn't handle it. No, I think if he would have got Drew Brees as his quarterback, he would have been fine in Miami.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, you don't have the recruiting power, you know, in the NFL, man. I mean, it ebbs and flows differently, you know, as far as personnel, you know. But no, I mean, I'll say this, man. Um, on one hand, I look at it as I don't see there being major changes in Dallas in terms of success. On the flip
Right.
side, if they were to get rid of McCarthy, then there's a chance you started from scratch. Um, I
That's
will,
true.
I will say this. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a change at the defensive coordinator. You
Right.
know, because Dan Quinn's defense has shown. I mean, if you look at the progress from what it was, you know, it's kind of like you saw what it was before, how it was like, you know, bottom, you know, in the
Well,
bottom percentile, and then you go up into the top 10 pretty much
so
aggressively while
Todd
he did.
Archer, you know who Todd Archer is?
Yeah, I know he's the ESPN reporter for the Dallas Cowboys.
So did you see what he said about Dan Quinn?
I didn't see what he said. What did he say?
I can read it. Quinn does not want to see offense from the Kyle Shanahan tree. The
Oh,
Packers coach Matt LaFleur might have been on Quinn's staff in Atlanta, but he picked up his offense from Kyle Shanahan, now the 49ers head coach. Shanahan has beat the Cowboys in each of the last 3 seasons, including a 42-10 drubbing this season at San Francisco. Miami's Mike McDaniel, who coached under Shanahan, was able to get past Quinn in December. LaFleur had Quinn's defense on a string all day, whether the Cowboys were in man or zone coverage, whether they blitzed or played coverage. Oh, you there?
yep, yep.
Were you able to hear all that?
I heard once you got to Mike McDaniel, everything went out.
Okay, Mike McDaniel, who coached under Shanahan in San Francisco, was able to get the best of Quinn in December. LaFleur had Quinn's defense on a string all day, whether the Cowboys were in man or zone coverage, or whether they blitzed or played coverage.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the post I put and know your personnel, but I mean, yeah, his record, he's what 0-6 against that Shanahan tree this season. Or no, and period, since he's been coaching the Dallas
Right.
Cowboys.
That's right.
So I mean, there's no surprise there. I mean, and another thing, I mean, the fact of the matter is Dan Quinn's defense is designed to succeed when your team is up. When you know what I mean, he wants to rush the passer, and he likes long cornerbacks, and he likes to use he likes fast, he likes speed, he likes to use a lot of speed. You know, in the process, you know, you're sacrificing size with his
Right.
style. So you don't have anybody to stop the run. That's why, you know, they keep getting banged around with the run. But
Right.
the success rate goes up when the team is up because the opposing team isn't running the ball as much and the quarterback is dropping back and, you know, they're able to pin their ears back and go out to the passer. But
Right.
when you take that away and, when the team is not producing takeaways, the defense is not producing takeaways, then the defense is compromised. You know, and he doesn't make adjustments in the game, you know, properly.
Right.
And his adjustments are, you know, head scratchers. You know, like back in the Miami game when he decided to come out of the zone. They, for the most part, they contain that high-powered offense, and then he decides to
They
come
did.
out and he decides to come out of the zone, and then Tyree Hill is like, oh, y'all gonna set me free? Bet.
Right.
Tyreek Hill makes a huge play as soon as they come out of the zone. I mean, I don't know. I think he's a great defensive mind. I just think there are limitations to his schemes.
Well, I think he sometimes coaches like he still has a Legion of Boom. And bro, you don't got that. You don't have Averill and all them. Where
Mm-mm.
y'all struggle is y'all linebackers. LaFleur identified that, and he was like, "Yo, they're undersized." The game plan he's gonna put forward for San Francisco this weekend is gonna be totally different. Because we're our linebackers aren't as weak as Dallas's. Um,
And in his defense, he was working with what he had because we had
there's
injuries in linebacker.
I think the Vander Esch injury, even though I say Vander do whatever, I thought y'all defense was more stout against the run when
Mm-hmm.
he was there. And y'all lost Diggs too. That's a big in the playoffs. All that stuff is humongous. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I mean,
So
Diggs shut down a whole side of the field. You know what I mean? He was
right,
one of those players you didn't want to. He had become that type of player where you didn't want to throw to his side. So
right,
he shut down. He compromised an entire side of the field, and then and then the other side you got to deal with Stephon Gilmore and try to pick on him, and then you had Deron Bland playing the nickelback, which Jordan Lewis stepped in for him and did a good job. But I mean, sometimes I saw Jordan Lewis playing the linebacker position. I mean, Marquise Bell, who's a safety from FAMU, he was
right.
converted to a linebacker, way too undersized. You know, it was just, I mean, it was just an experiment almost when you look at it that wasn't working out.
Right.
But hold on, what was that? Okay, we're back. Yep, Sean Young, yes, he said I'm back. No bricks in their pocket. Damn linebackers, 208 pounds. They say, yeah, that's right. I mean, you try to convert safeties into
Linebacker.
linebackers. That's what you're
Right.
gonna get. You're gonna get pushed around, man. You're gonna get banged out. So, what I mean? That's why you were able to see those teams like a Arizona, with James Conner, just running through them boys like that, man.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, James Cook. James Cook ain't up. James Cook is he's really good. You know what I mean? James Cook's a really good running back, but he ain't never had no game like that, like he did against Dallas.
Nah, not at all.
He was looking like his brother's leading rushing season. Yeah, I mean, he says what terrible adjustments, doesn't like man to man, and they are susceptible to double moves, motions, and shifts. And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Sean. They could not. I don't know what it was, but whenever it was a motion, the shifts and motions, they did not react well to them at all. It was like, it was like candy for the
Right.
offense. So I mean, I said all that to say, man, Dan Quinn, if anything, his job is probably still, in question. But I mean, he's still taking interviews from what I hear. I mean, his interviews haven't went away. So
Which is crazy to me.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. You think you
Let
think
me ask you this before we move on from the wild card weekend. Is this the most embarrassing loss the Dallas Cowboys have had since '96?
in terms of what was at stake and in terms of the advantages that they put into play, I would say so.
Right.
The sad part about this thing, though, Keith, and I alluded to this the other day for those who didn't hear it. If you're a Dallas fan, you've been down this road before. This seems too good to be true road. When things start to align perfectly and when the expectations go up, you tend to get nervous. It's kind of like the way you feel about the San Francisco 49ers when they're already expected to win from the beginning of the season. You
Right.
know, you like for them to come out of the ashes, to surprise people.
Right.
Um, like that year they were a wild card. But,
Yeah,
I
the year
mean,
we beat y'all a couple years ago.
right. So Cowboys fans, we're used to
But I'm
this.
not gonna lie. Even that year, I thought we were the better team than Dallas.
Yeah, no, I remember it like I was not happy. That was not a good draw for
Right.
Dallas. I was
Right.
like, yo, this is not a good matchup. As soon as we realized that we had to face y'all, because I mean, I think was that the year we won the division. We
Yeah,
were
y'all won the division.
yeah,
I think y'all were the 3 seed. We were the 6 or something.
yeah, the fifth or the sixth. It was something like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, this is not a good matchup.
Michael Irvin said the same thing. It's like, no, I want somebody else to beat the 49ers. I don't want to play them first. Like he knew the game. And it's just like in the 90s. I did not want to play Dallas before the NFC Championship. I didn't. Uh, Definitely once Emmett and them got rolling. But when we were gonna play y'all, I was like, first off, obviously we went to NFC Championship. I was like, we more physical than them boys. They ain't seen a player. Debo was on one that year. He was just different. You know what I'm saying? I knew
Mhm.
y'all hadn't seen. Obviously, last year y'all kind of adjusted and did all that, but I know. I think so. I'm gonna be honest. I think if y'all did not face us the last couple of years, y'all would have got to the NFC Championship.
I can believe that. And I mean, the defense played y'all well last season. And the
They
last
did. They did.
that was a defensive battle, man. It was just our offense couldn't put no points up. I mean,
Right.
but y'all didn't either. It was a defensive game. And it just
Right.
came down to who lasted, So yeah, that game wasn't, I mean, that wasn't a runaway or anything, but yeah, this year, man, they just look. The reason everybody's calling for Mike McCarthy's job is because the team just looked unprepared.
That's correct. I
It just
mean,
it's simple as that. You can't come into this game unprepared. You got home field advantage all the way until the NFC
it
Championship.
was like, hey, we got the division. Green Bay's just gonna show up and roll over.
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like they thought. I mean, but kudos to Matt LaFleur for opting to receive on the kickoff, man.
When the trend is to not do that.
Right. Because I mean, he understood. He's like, nah, man, we can't let this team get up on us. This is not a
Right.
team we want to get ahead. They are front runners. Dallas Cowboys all season, they've been front runners. And when I sat back and thought about it, man. And you think about what was Dallas's most valuable win of the season? You know what their most quality win of the season was, Keith? It was that it was
Really?
it wasn't even Philly no more, man. Did you see what happened to Philly? It wasn't even Philly anymore. It was that fluke ass game against the Detroit Lions. That was their most quality win of the season. If you really factor in the Philadelphia Eagles, and then you think about any other team they beat, they beat the Seahawks. Seahawks not in the playoffs. They
Right.
beat Philly. Philly looked like they ain't belong in the playoffs.
They didn't.
Had they not started 10-1, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
I agree.
So I mean, when you really think about it, man, I mean, Dallas really didn't beat nobody.
Well, I've been saying that all year. So there it is. I mean, I
You know, and
mean, let's get into the divisional rounds, yo. Which game you want to get into first?
you want to get into your boys? Well, I mean, did you learn something from that game? I mean, since Kyle Shanahan apparently has started preparing for the Packers in the second quarter.
Well, what I learned from that game is they ran a lot of plays against y'all that we've ran against Green Bay. That tight end, he was the most open receiver on the season, 17.2 yards, right? The tight end slipping out of the backside. We ran that play against Green Bay in 2019 at our house.
Hmm.
And so what I learned is, I mean, I think LaFleur has matured more as a coach. And I think this is the most dangerous team that Green Bay has had. When we played Rodgers, he did not trust other receivers. He would only throw to 17, Devontae, right?
Mhm.
And so what I learned is this is the most dangerous Packers team that we played since the 90s with Brett Favre, in my opinion. Uh, what I do have confidence in is I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop our offense.
Whew, you sound like me last week.
Well, the difference is Shanahan owns most of his consigliaries, right? And so he beats up on McVay. We've already beat Mc. We beat LaFleur with Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? A couple years. And so now Shanahan thinks he has a real quarterback, which is crazy. Because do you know the draft picks where these quarterbacks were taken?
Yep.
Every quarterback left is a first round pick except Purdy.
What's up, Purdy? Yep.
So
I can't wait till we get to these QB rankings. Everybody stay tuned. I can't wait for this.
everybody stay tuned. We're gonna rank the rest of the QBs
This is
from
gonna be
8 to
fun.
1. And so I didn't learn a lot because the things he did to you guys, we did to you guys in week 5, right?
Pretty much.
What was different? Our defense held y'all to 10 versus 30. I don't care about the 32 points.
I
It
can't.
was 48-16, in my opinion.
I can't compare it. I can't compare it because I don't. I just feel like Dallas didn't show up, man. I mean, I don't even. I can't even compare the two games.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's, to me, I mean, it felt like that Buffalo game. It's like, you just didn't show up. You know. So I mean, I can't even compare anything to that. But I think I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk for San Francisco the way you would think it is on paper. I think y'all dealing with a young, hungry team that's playing with house money. You know what I mean? Who's not afraid of y'all. You're like, man, I saw that, man. Why you put that on the screen? We didn't need to see that.
No, so this is, hey, Sean, I love this because I feel like the playoffs are less interesting now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody wanted to see the Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay and San Fran is just a rivalry like Dallas and San Fran, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's and so like everything is lined up for Dallas to get to the NFC Championship. Like you saw a lot of people say, "Oh, the Rams gonna beat the Niners, and we're gonna beat the Packers. Then we're gonna beat the Bucks or the Eagles," and nothing lined up for them. And so you're like, "Yo, I actually am with Sean on this. Was I laughing and was it funny to me on Sunday? It was hilarious. But I actually was looking forward to a Dallas San Francisco NFC Championship.
No,
But
absolutely.
now it actually makes me less because I think we're a better team than Green Bay. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And so what they did to y'all, I think you remember when Debo said, "Micah, bro, y'all don't want to see us again. It'll be worse next time."
Yeah. No, they were going back and forth.
Right. I actually agree with that. Because we scored 42 and we didn't play our starters in the fourth quarter.
See, but the disappointing part about this, the most disappointing part about this for Cowboys fans, should be the fact that if that were to happen, it wasn't going to happen until the NFC Championship game.
That's right.
And a trip to the NFC Championship game would have been kind of like how Detroit's is a successful season for Detroit because they won a playoff game. It would have been a successful season for Dallas to be in the NFC Championship.
That's right.
Because it's been the same amount of time as it's been since they won a Super Bowl. That's how long it's been since they've been in the NFC Championship. So that would have been a step forward in itself.
Right.
But I agree. I do agree with you and Sean that, I mean, it's disappointing because, I mean, it's more interesting. The NFL is more interesting. We got historically marquee teams like that are, they're good and they're in the championship. It's entertaining and it's, I mean, for those of us in our age group, it's nostalgic.
Right, right.
But I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's one of those things where, what they say, Dallas gone Dallas, man. I mean, it shocked me. I thought it would happen in the divisional round. If this was going to go bad, go left, I thought it would happen in the divisional round. I did not think it was going to go down like this. It went way worse than I thought it would. Way better for people like Stephen A. Smith and yourself. But
It just went funny for me. I was just like, is this really happening? Like in the wild card? Like, what are
surreal,
they
man.
doing? It just went to like, what are they doing?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, man. I mean, when you really sit back and just look at the scope of things, because like I said, their signature wins. At one point, it was supposed to be the Eagles, but I mean, like I said, when you look at it, when you really sit back and look at it, man, their signature win was that fluke, uh, a botched 2-point conversion situation, referees or whatever you want to call it, over the Lions. That was their most quality victory as it pertains
Right.
to the opponent. When you really look at anything else they did, it didn't matter. They beat what, 2 teams with a winning record? The Eagles, and then at the time, the Seahawks, who ended up not even being in the playoffs.
Y'all got a great schedule, man.
Everything lined up exactly. I mean, the Eagles face planted, everything lined up exactly like perfect for Dallas, and they blew it. But yeah, let's move on. I don't want to talk about these guys anymore.
I agree with you. So let's go to let's see, what do we want to do next?
Let's go. Let's look at these matchups, man.
Let's do it.
Man, what we man, I
Let's
mean,
start off with Lamar versus Houston. What do you think?
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
Look, first off, before we go, the divisional round is the best round of the playoffs, in my opinion. What
I
do you think?
I agree, man. And we got a good lineup this time. We got a good lineup this time. Ricky Williams said Dallas has been overrated all year. I didn't expect that to change in the playoffs. No, I mean the writing was on the wall, man. I mean, you saw. I expected them to get out of that first
I
round.
agree, Ricky.
I expected them to get out of that first round, though, Ricky. I at least, you know, um, I thought if this was going to go bad, it would be in the divisional round. But hey, but anywho, so yeah, no, CJ Stroud versus Lamar. Oh man, that's going to be explosive, man. Um, I mean, shout outs to the Texans and Miko Ryan and that, and an amazing season that they've had. What a pleasant surprise, man. I'm rooting for the coach. But no, I think that'll be an exciting matchup. Who do you think will have a better game, like as far as the quarterbacks?
Lamar.
You think Lamar will have a better game? Why?
I love Stroud. I think they're a day early to the party. Like you get into the divisional, and I'm a big Lamar fan, regardless of how he beat us on Christmas night and all that. I actually want him to get deep into a playoff run so he can get that stigma off of him,
Mm-hmm.
off of athletic quarterbacks. But damn, CJ Stroud is balling. He is best quarterback in Texas.
Right now, yes. At the
I don't
moment,
know if he's the best, but his
in the
eyes
playoffs,
don't look as big when the moment get. I would take CJ Stroud in the moment over Dak, right?
yeah. I mean, he looks more confident. I mean, and this is new territory for him. These young quarterbacks are confident, man. I mean, that's a new wave, man. Jordan Love was out there like it was nothing. He was out there throwing. He was looking like Aaron Rodgers out there. Some of those passes he was throwing.
Bruh, so is Brock, right?
Yeah, Brock. I gotta see Brock this year. I gotta see the pressure cranked up on Brock, man. Look, we'll see. We'll see.
But here, this is so. Let me ask you this: now that we're there, should Brock be more confident this year than he was last? Because this is not his first playoff run. He's already been in the playoffs.
But he did. I mean, he didn't really. He didn't have a great game against Dallas. Like I said, it was a defensive
So
game, and
I
then
don't disagree with that.
and
But what
then
I
there was
will
the
say,
injury.
how many games did Tom Brady win just being clean? He was clean against Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes the game doesn't call for you to go for 400 yards sometimes it just calls for you to not fuck it up, right? No,
Right.
excuse my language. And did Brock do that against Dallas?
He held up, but I mean, you're talking about balling out, and then you went from C.J. Stroud and Lamar Jackson to Brock Purdy, and we haven't seen him play at a high level in the playoffs. So to me, that's an
Oh,
unproven
we
commodity.
did. That Seattle game, he balled.
What's that?
The Seattle game, he balled.
The Seattle game, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm ready for these QB rankings though.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm ready for these.
Let's go. All right. You ready to jump into them now, or we just gonna talk about the teams? What's up?
We're saved out. But
Okay.
yeah. So no, you said you think Lamar Jackson will have a better game than C.J. Stroud. I think that could be likely. But I will say C.J. Stroud could have a better game than Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens could still win the game.
I agree with that.
You know, and that's just mostly that's the statistical category. You know, Lamar Jackson affects the games in so many different ways, and then that Baltimore defense, you know, I think they could, they could work against my point and kind of shut CJ out. They're either going to shut out the run game and make CJ have to do it all, or it could be just a long day for CJ. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I think it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised though if CJ Stroud had a better game than Lamar, and then they still lost.
Right.
Because I can tell you as a fantasy owner, Lamar Jackson, I've looked at his stats some weeks and wondered how the hell they won the game.
Well, because they have the best defense in football.
Right. Exactly. You go and look at the rest of the stat line and you see the difference. But Lamar, I've seen he's had games where he only threw for like 150 yards, but he had 2 TD passes and 1 TD run. You know what I mean? So, it could go either way. But of course, I'm gonna pick Baltimore I pick Baltimore in that matchup. I still think C.J. Stroud deserved a Pro Bowl nod over Patrick Mahomes for this season.
Oh, you think C.J. Stroud should have been in the Pro Bowl over Pat Mahomes?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go to that. I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
What's up?
Did Dallas deserve 9 All Pros, or did they get the glamour? What did we say? The glamour bump.
The glamour bump.
You know our thing about the glamour. If you're a Yankee, a Laker, or a Cowboy, people know who you are, so you get a little extra. That is my theory. Am I wrong?
In some ways, I can't disagree with it. I disagree with them being all pro because they're Cowboys. Those 9 all pros were like they were all they all had all pro seasons. You know what I mean?
So who were the 9? Let's go through them.
We're gonna name all 9 of them. So you had.
I agree with Bland. I agree with CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck on Dak. I don't know if Dak deserved it over Purdy.
You can't. You can't. How can I put this? So I made the point about the opponent, but they can't weigh it on that. You know what I mean? And that's not how it's
You're
measured.
Right.
Yeah. So
that might be how me or you might measure it, but that's
right.
not how they're gonna look at it.
They're not measuring it that way. Right. So he easily had the best season of his career statistically.
Correct.
I would say statistically, I specifically say that because I feel like he had a better year he was better with when Ezekiel Elliott was at the top of his game. When he had that complimentary run game, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
With Zeke, it's like even when you go back to their rookie year in 2016 when they were the number 1 seed and they went 13-3. And he was offensive player of the year, or
right.
offensive rookie of the year. So, I mean, there's statistics and then there's, quality of victories, and I think they're just looking at his stat line. I mean, he was top 3 in the MVP category for most of the season.
I don't disagree with that.
But, like I said, we can weigh that differently. We can serve different outlooks on that. I mean, if you ask me, nah, not really. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a lot of it was bloated by the quality of the opponent, and I mean, he was just throwing it to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was catching everything, but I can't give too much credit, and I can't take it away based on how it's measured as far as the NFL is concerned.
I agree. We had 7 All Pros. And I just thought as a team we were better than y'all. I think we deserve more All Pros. But the only one I think that didn't make it was our punter. I think y'all kicker definitely deserved to be All Pro. Um, I thought Greenlaw missed out. I thought Greenlaw missed out.
Greenlaw had a special season, man. I told you I didn't know who Greenlaw was until Dallas played y'all.
Oh, he was all over the field that game.
Yeah, I was like, who is this guy, man? Who is this Greenlaw guy?
Right.
And yeah, no, he was balling out all season, man. I mean, he outplayed Fred Warner a lot of those games.
I agree with that. He's our tone setter. I mean, Warner, I love Warner. He's a great player, but I thought, to your point, I thought that game against Warner did have a big game against Dallas, but I mean, both of them are everywhere. That's why they're one of the top 2 or 3 linebacking cores in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I don't disagree with that. But yeah, no. So where were we at? We were at Baltimore and in Texas.
Right.
What about the other matchup? What about the Chiefs and Buffalo Bills, man?
Who you got?
Between the Chiefs and the Bills,
Yeah.
man. Yo, I think the Chiefs meet their demise in their first playoff road game. I don't know. It's something about the way the Bills are playing right now, man. I don't know. This is gonna be a measuring stick for Josh Allen.
I think for his legacy, he got to win this game, bro.
Yeah.
I got the Bills too, man. I want to disagree with you. I'm not gonna lie. Let me go skip to it. I got the Bills and the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
You got the Bills and the 49ers?
Mm-hmm.
So you think you think Baltimore is gonna fall?
Man, Buffalo so like do you know who the Bills nemesis has been the last few years?
You said the Bills nemesis?
Yeah. Besides Kansas City.
I was gonna say the Chiefs.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati's, they're not there.
Cincinnati beat the dog shit out of Buffalo last year.
They did.
In the playoffs. There's no Joe Burrow. And the last couple of times that the Bills have AFC teams do better against Lamar for whatever reason. And so to your point, they should be favored, Baltimore for sure. But Buffalo kind of has a game plan for Lamar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I can see Buffalo and San Francisco.
Well, Buffalo got some injuries on the defensive side.
They got a bunch of injuries.
That game plan for Lamar might not be
right what it is.
So I don't know about that one, Keith.
Hey, this is what this is for. Disagree with me. Let's go. We can
look,
get
man.
into it.
I don't know about that one, man. Look, because you're looking at for one, I think Josh Allen will turn the ball over against that Baltimore defense because you know he will turn the ball over, and
1,000%.
with them linebackers, man, you know, ain't gonna be too much of that running around and stuff like he was doing in against Pittsburgh. So
Right.
I don't know. I just think Baltimore would neutralize
Well,
the
who has
strength
a
of
better
the team.
chance of knocking off Baltimore? Houston or Buffalo?
Buffalo. But I think Buffalo, to me right now, Buffalo's a better team than Houston.
That's fair. So Houston is D'Amico has overachieved this year, then, right?
Has he overachieved? I mean, in terms of expectations, yes.
Yeah. If you'd have told a Houston Texans fan in August, you'll be in the divisional, one of the final 8 teams, they would
Yeah,
take
no,
that.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. But you can say that about a lot of teams. You can say that about Green Bay. You can say that about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, there's a lot of overachieving teams in the playoffs right now.
So who is not an overachieving team?
Baltimore, San Francisco,
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Kansas City hasn't really looked right all season. I mean, they
I don't
almost.
disagree with you, but if somebody told you in August Kansas City is going to be in the divisional, you would say, yeah,
Yeah, you would expect them to be there.
yes. And so
You would
the
expect
fact
them
that
to.
they're here, it does not shock you.
Right.
Even in a so-called down year, this is not a down year. I
Mm-mm.
mean, they went 11-6 and won their division. I mean, San Francisco's done that like 3 or 4 years in a row. Like this is the first year we were the number 1 seed. I mean, last year we went 13-4 and were the number 2 seed, but we had a 10-6. Whatever the year that we played y'all in 2021, we lost a lot of games that year. Uh,
That was
so
that, y'all acquired Christian McCaffrey mid-season
that was last year.
last. You said 2021. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um, let's
I mean,
go to the next matchup.
yeah.
So we got 8 teams left, 4 games. Let's go to Lions, Bucks.
Lions and Bucks. It's gonna be a fun matchup. Um, Baker Mayfield is playing well, but I think Jared Goff is playing, you know, at a higher level. Um, there were, I mean, the Bucks, they could have beat Philly. They could have put up 50 on Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got there. Oh, they want Josh Allen to be the man so bad. Everybody on the
Yep. We talked. You talked about the injury.
yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah,
Real nice, huh?
that
Yep.
that that whole stopping Lamar Jackson. I mean, that defense ain't built the way it was to be stopping Lamar like that.
Right.
Um, but where were we? Yeah, we were talking about the Bucks and the Lions. I mean, I think, I mean, I got the Lions in this one. I think the Lions are having a magical season. Um, you know, I think they are poised to meet San Francisco or Green Bay in the NFC Championship.
You would love that, right? You would love that, wouldn't you?
Oh man, you giving me a lot of material to chop up and play at the beginning of the next episode if y'all do lose.
I'm gonna be honest. You want me to be honest about Green Bay? I'm gonna be honest. They're more dangerous with Jordan Love than they were 2 years ago when we played them in the divisional and beat them 13-10 in their playoffs.
I can agree.
Aaron Rodgers was running his own offense. He was audibling all LaFleur's calls, and
Mhm.
like now LaFleur has his own offense. These receivers are actually good. Like Rodgers was treating them really bad, right?
Mhm.
So these receivers are actually good, and Jordan Love is actually passing to everybody, whereas A Rod was just past the 17, Devontae, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm not going to sit here and say they can't beat. Now, what I will say is they can't stop our offense. They don't have the requisite linebackers and all those to do that. We'll have to turn the ball over. Something crazy will have to happen. And another thing I have confidence in is Shanahan owns his minions pretty much. He beats up on McVay a lot. He's beat up on LaFleur. I remember when we beat them 13-10 2 years ago. Epic game. I mean, Matt LaFleur looked like somebody stole his car. Like he's like, how did we lose to Jimmy G?
I mean, look, y'all
I
should.
agree, Juice. Green Bay is a hot team. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I mean, I agree with Justin too. But I mean, I'm gonna say, look, I mean, you saying a lot of things right now, Keith Murphy.
Go ahead.
Um,
What am I saying?
you're saying a lot of, you feeling real good. You feeling real confident, man. I see you all over social media, posting every 5 minutes, talking about the Cowboys and the Rams, and I don't know, man.
So but
I
before
just,
you finish, if you're a Cowboys fan,
right.
if the Niners, Commanders, and Eagles lost in the same weekend, how would you feel?
Oh no, I would feel great. You know what I mean?
So I get the Rams, Cowboys, and Eagles in one weekend. What do you think I'm gonna do?
Yo,
We going crazy.
hey man, Keith. I do not deny that you have reasons to be excited. You know what I mean? But I think you got to look at this from another perspective as well. You got to be looking like, dang, man, if these guys can get caught slipping, we got to be on top of our game, because you never know. Any given Sunday.
I don't disagree with you. Here's the thing that I have never felt like as a 49er fan that Shanahan has come into a game unprepared. I thought Dallas was unprepared last weekend.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
so if we lose, it's going to be like, oh, Purdy threw 2 tip picks, 4 picks, whatever against Baltimore, right? Like it was what I'll say is that was like a aberration. Like he threw 4 picks. I'll say maybe 1 or 2 of them, but like things were getting tipped. Like it went crazy, right?
Right.
I didn't feel like Shanahan was like just in the mix, like getting out schemed and out coaching. I have never felt like that since he's been our coach. If we lose, if we're turning the ball, so I don't feel like if Mike McCarthy was my coach, I would not be laughing and joking. And it's not like we're going up here. I mean, they were running plays against y'all that we've done to them. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so can LaFleur out scheme Shanahan? Maybe, but if you had to bet money, who would you bet on?
Oh, I'm gonna bet on Kyle Shanahan. I don't genuinely think y'all are gonna lose to the Green Bay Packers.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? I'm just throwing some things out there, Keith.
It can happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say it can't. It
Because
can
it's
happen.
crazy. A lot of crazy things happen in this wild card round. So I'm just putting it out there.
First off, 2 years ago when we beat them in Green Bay in the snow, did you think we would beat them?
Nah, not in the snow.
Well, this is what I will say. Even though we're a West Coast team, our team is built for cold weather.
Why do you say that?
Well, because we're physical at the linebacker and defensive line positions. I mean, and just what it's shown, like even back when Pat Willis and Bowman were there, right? We could go to Green Bay and win. And we went to Green Bay and win 2 years ago. I think if that game was in California, they would have beat us.
Is Brock Purdy built for cold weather?
We got to see that. That's a good point. So, would you think Jimmy G is built more for cold weather than Brock?
I mean, he did play in New England.
That's true, and Illinois in college.
Yep. So
that I don't think he's a better quarterback than Brock, but to your point, he might be better in the elements than Brock. That's a valid point.
We
Good
haven't.
thing in the NFC, you don't really have to go in the elements. How many teams have? So Detroit has a dome now, right?
Yeah,
That would normally be a cold weather place. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Minnesota does too.
Minnesota too. So the
Yeah,
only way we have to play in cold weather is the Giants, which they suck, so we ain't got to worry about that.
they're never late this late in the season. So they never.
Not
They
right
don't. They
now.
don't. They don't play in the wintertime.
That's right. So the Commanders, right?
Yeah,
And Chicago, don't got
definitely.
to worry about Chicago playing.
No.
Who else is in that North? Green Bay,
Green Bay. Green Bay
but
is the worst, probably.
they coming to us, and
Right.
we've already shown we can win in Green Bay in the last 2 years,
Right.
and so we won't have to play cold weather if we're gonna be good in the next couple of years, like I think we are. We'll be a number one or number two seed. We're not gonna have to go on the road to no cold weather places. All that shit is in the AFC. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Jets. I mean, all those places. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Let's get to the QB rankings, man. Get off of here. So eight. I'm gonna go Baker Mayfield.
You said 8. You going Baker?
Yep.
Yeah. That was my 8 too. We had the same 8.
Okay. Let's check that off. And are we taking into account situation or just how good the quarterback is?
See, that's what I meant to ask you, because you actually came up with this concept, because if
Iowa
we
is cold. I know that, Sean, but Iowa don't have a fucking football team, so there's that.
he talking about college.
Jimmy G's definitely built for the bench. Yeah, he's talking about Brock in college.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Philly's cold weather too.
Yeah. Forgot about Philly.
But Brock already beat them in December, dusted them. So on past Philly.
Yeah. I was
All
in
right.
Philly. I was in Philly to win. It wasn't that bad. It's not like Green
So yeah,
Bay.
what is the criteria we're ranking these eight quarterbacks?
That's what I was gonna ask, because I mean, it's almost a clear cut number one if we're ranking it on pure, like, who's the best quarterback.
Okay, we can go from 8 to 1. Patty. Patty's gonna be one.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Right now.
Okay, ma.
Yeah. So is that what we're
Hold on.
doing? We're doing it based on just the quarterback all around, or the way they are currently in the playoffs?
Let's say this. We can do our criteria however we want to. If you want to do, or you can factor in both.
Okay. All right. So we both. So you already put him in number one. So all right, let's reverse it. Let's start back where we were when you were
So we're
starting.
gonna do 8 to 1 or 1 to 8.
We'll do 8. Let's start at 8.
All right, I got Baker Mayfield as 8.
Same. I got Baker at 8.
You want me to go to my 7?
Go for it.
Jared Goff.
You got Jared Goff at 7.
Yep. Do you got the 8 written down? Do I got to tell you the 8?
I mean, I'm thinking of him off the top of my head. I mean, it's only. So we got. I was gonna go Jared. No, what we at 7?
Yeah.
Give me Jordan Love at 7.
Okay.
He balled
I
out.
got Jordan Love at 6.
Mm-hmm. I got Brock Purdy at 6.
Okay. I got Brock Purdy at 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you got him so low.
I'm a realist, baby. Let's go.
I got Jared Goff above Brock Purdy. Jared Goff did lead a team to the Super Bowl. Well, didn't lead a team, but he went to the Super Bowl with a team.
Yeah, interesting. At 4, I got CJ Stroud.
Same.
Okay. At 3, I got Lamar.
At 3, I got Josh Allen.
At 2, I got Josh Allen. And at 1, we both got Patty.
Yep.
All right. He got Baker, Love, Goff, CJ, Brock, Josh, Lamar, and my homeboy won. Sean, I'm not mad at that. I just think CJ's more talented than Brock. Brock is more experienced. He already has 3 or 4 playoff games under his belt, right? With 3 or 2, right? Then the third one was. I mean, he didn't really
I
play.
heard.
He got knocked out the game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Um, so where do we disagree? We disagree. You had Goff ahead of Purdy, right?
Yeah. Off the strength of, I mean, like I said, yeah, I mean, he's led a team to the Super Bowl and competed at a high level. That was that terrible Super Bowl with New England, right?
Yes. Here in Atlanta, I was there.
Yeah, yeah, that was horrible.
So I don't think Goff. For one, I'm a 49er fan. I faced him twice a year, right?
Hmm.
I think if we play the Detroit Lions, we're gonna dust the Detroit Lions. He's non-mobile, uh, and I just think he's never posed an issue for the 49ers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel that that's why that McVay got rid of him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I think Purdy is more of a playmaker than Goff. He's more mobile, and he has a better weapons. So I would take him above him. I took all the AFC quarterbacks over all the NFC quarterbacks. I know Sean put Brock, and I'm okay with that because Brock has more playoff experience than Stroud, and so I ain't mad at it. Just for me, I think all 4 of the AFC quarterbacks are more talented than all of the NFC quarterbacks.
Yeah. You gotta believe what your eyes tell you. You know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and then it's like, I mean, we talk about this all the time, man. I mean, if you put Brock Purdy on the Houston Texans and put CJ Stroud on the San Francisco 49ers,
Right.
and what difference do you see? You know?
And I don't want to piss on Brock because I think he's still really, really good. Because I'm not one of those people. I don't think you can put Jimmy G in this offense and it look like that. So I think Brock.
Yeah.
I still think Brock's gonna get a hit because he's a 7th round.
Yeah. I think your sound went out.
You got me? Can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
Yep. I ain't know if it was. I ain't know if I muted the sound or your mic mute. But go ahead. You're talking
No,
about
I just
you said
think.
the last thing that we heard was you said you don't think Brock gets the respect because he's a
Well, he's the only non-first round pick left in the playoffs.
facts.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got some number 1 picks sprinkled in there.
It's all number 1 picks. Every
Yeah.
quarterback is a first round pick except for Brock.
Hmm. So I guess the consensus is, I mean, it seems like we were pretty much on the same page, other than the Jared Goff and Brock switch. Sean Young said Brock has more experience and a better O line and or better offense and weapons.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. So I mean, if we're talking about talent, if we're talking about the most talented teams, I mean, I've been telling you this all season, Keith. My eyes have been telling me all season that San Francisco is the best team in the NFL.
Right.
I think y'all ran into a buzzsaw in that Baltimore game, and y'all were just struggling against the AFC North as a whole.
I think I told. What did I tell you? If we did not play the AFC North, I think we would have been like 15-1, 16-1, something crazy.
Yeah. What NFC teams did y'all lose to? I'm not even
Just
going to
Minnesota. Just Minnesota.
I'm not even going to count that last game. That was.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the Rams. We lost to Minnesota. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that was Sam Darnold versus
No,
Carson.
it was still Brock, but it was that was one of those games where Debo and Trent were out
Yeah.
during that 3-game losing streak.
I didn't see that whole game. By the time I watched it, Sam Darnold was in.
Yes, late in the game because Brock got a concussion, I think. I don't know. I don't know
Did
if
he?
he was in that game or not, but what I do know is
That was the Baltimore game, I thought.
the Baltimore game had Sam Darnold in it.
Right. No, I'm saying I thought Sam Darnold played in y'all's last game of the season against the
He
Rams.
did. He
Yeah.
played against the Rams the whole game.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
And so, I mean, we ended up with 5 losses, but like you said, the last game, starters didn't play. 3 out of our 4 losses were AFC North losses.
Right.
We lost to the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. So our only loss in the NFC was to Minnesota, which is why I'm even more confident about the Green Bay thing. I mean, Green Bay just lost to the Giants in December. I'm not going to pitch on that, whatever, but we see the NFC least is the NFC least.
And their defense had Bryce Young out there looking like a superstar.
They did.
I didn't understand.
I think Bryce Young got NFC Rookie of the Week or something. And Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not the only one that got accolades after playing against the Green Bay defense.
And so I think people are kind of – I know I'm going to show them respect, but I'm like, yo, if Bryce and them can carve up the Green Bay defense, I don't know what we're going to do with them.
I don't know. We shall see, man. They might be a different team in the playoffs. They seem to be they come off as a young, hungry team that's playing with house money. That's
before we get off here, do you want to rank the teams too?
We can do that.
All right. Who you got at 8?
The number 8 team right now for me, I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Same. 7.
Houston Texans.
I'm gonna go Packers.
Okay. 6, I got the Packers.
6, I got the Texans.
Let's see.
5.
All right, now we're in the top 5.
Yep.
5, I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with Detroit.
Yep, Lions. I got them.
4. Number 4.
I'm going Buffalo.
I'm torn between Buffalo and Kansas City at 4.
I'm going Buffalo.
All right, I'm gonna go Kansas City.
I'm gonna go Kansas City at 3.
I'm gonna go Buffalo at 3.
I'm gonna go Baltimore at 2.
I'm gonna go San Francisco at 2.
I'm gonna go San Francisco at 1. I don't care what happened when they played us.
I look, just before somebody say I'm contradicting myself, I still think y'all are the most talented team in the NFL. Like the roster, from what I see, y'all the most talented team. But I can't give y'all the edge over Baltimore after what they did to y'all. I can't get that out of my head. That's my lasting memory of Baltimore and San Francisco. It used to be the Super Bowl when Beyonce put the lights out. But now it's that it's that ass whooping from a little while ago. But you know, I think y'all kept that game relatively close under the circumstances of what happened.
That's right. That's why I went 1. I don't know if he will do that. To your point, it could happen again. I don't think they will. I agree with this. Actually, they bullied us. They did. Look, let's be clear. Trent did not make it out of the Baltimore or Cleveland game. They knocked his big ass out of both games. And that's hard to do.
Absolutely. As Michael Parsons found out the hard way.
Right. So, before we end this, I'm going to let you as a Cowboys fan speak your mind, bro.
What am I speaking on?
Your coach, your situation this year, how you felt last week versus after what happened Sunday. Because I'm sure you had high hopes for these playoffs.
I was very disappointed. I am, and I'm as objective as a Cowboy fan as you ever meet. I'm not like these delusional fans that think we're going to a Super Bowl every year. I look
Before
at
you
them.
finish, facts, TJ. But go ahead.
No fancy stats from the Ravens, just straight bully ball. Absolutely. That and the next comment he said about they should have went and got Henry. Yeah,
He didn't say should have. He said you should do it.
they still can. Yeah, they still can. He'll be a free agent. Yeah, we didn't have a run game all season. They proved that, TP's not an ever down back. It was like bringing a Ferrari to a demolition derby. He did not belong in that situation. He is a change of pace back. He needs a power running back. He needs an Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry type of running back. I would have even taken Dalvin Cook, for crying out loud. I mean, that might have even been a good look. Or Fournette even. But every year, you kind of like temper your expectations with them because they find a way to, disappoint you. But I saw something different this year in that I saw the McCarthy and Dak Prescott effect. I saw him playing better, and he was a better quarterback this year with McCarthy calling plays. Where my disappointment lied, really, it wasn't so much the fact that they lost to Green Bay. It was the way they lost to Green Bay. You have a season like that where everything aligns perfectly for you. You have a 12-win season, and you go into the playoffs, and then you just don't show up in the wild card. You got home. You've been undefeated at home for almost 2 years, and you lose to that team that way on that stage in the wild card. Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, it trickles down. It's almost like a Jerry Jones effect. A lot of people blame it on Jerry Jones. I don't know. All I can say is it's hard to really get excited. What did I keep telling you all season, Keith? I don't get excited until the fourth quarter of the divisional round with these boys. That's when I start. That's when you'll see me excited. If we up in the fourth quarter of the divisional round, that's when I'll be excited for the Cowboys. Until then, I have to sit back and think to myself, what does Stephen A say? What can go wrong will go wrong.
Because I agree, TJ.
He's absolutely right. Yeah, it was paid. It was paid perfectly, man. Everything was aligning. Jimmy Johnson just, finally got in the Ring of Honor. You're thinking like, oh, the Jimmy curse is over.
Did you see the Michael Irvin?
The one where he's sitting outside where he snapped when he went off? Where they had memes about him? Yeah, I saw that one. I was more touched by Jimmy Johnson at halftime of the game. Did you see him at halftime?
Yeah, let's play it.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson, he was looking like he was ready to go in the locker room.
Man, it had me pissed because I hate the Cowboys, but I've grown over the TV and stuff the last 20 years. Yeah. I like Michael Irvin and Jimmy Johnson. I really do. And you could tell he was touched by that. Like,
yeah, man, it's like being an alumni, you know what I'm saying, of a school or something, man, and you going back home to see your team win, and they go out there and embarrass your legacy. Here it is.
Pointing the fingers, one thing or another. You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. We're going to go fast tempo. Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
All right. That Michael fighter. He's got
no, Mike, no. Let me push you right now.
Then we got another clown moment. Do you want another clown moment before we get off here?
I was going to say, first of all, Gronk do not want that smoke. He do not want to get in front of Michael Strahan. He
does not want that smoke at all.
His ass down. But yeah, no. Let's end on something funny, man. What we got?
Yeah.
Jimmy
was fired up.
That was
y'all Neos, get your ass out on that grass and clap that. Let's go.
Oh man.
I'm gonna find some. Hold on. Let another hit from Jair Brown.
You said Jair Brown?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
You see what he said to Dak?
I want to see it. I want.
I mean, Jair Alexander. I'm sorry.
Alexander. Yeah, I was great. I feel that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was lit. For real, it was lit. Honestly, like there's no better feeling. Like there's a few quarterbacks who've thrown me multiple picks in my career, and Dak is now one of them. So he's among my top QBs. I mean, it was lit. For real, it was lit. Honestly.
Hey man, that dude funny, man.
You
It's a
say
shame.
what?
That's a funny dude right there, man. That's a funny dude. I mean, you know, it's a shame that reporter from Green Bay didn't recognize him last week.
I heard about that. What was that about?
Nah, it was. I think I talked about it on the last show, man. I don't know. She was she was out there just reporting on the Green Bay Packers, you know, and then he just popped up and just started popping off, and she was like, "Hey, there was a fan. You know, the fans are excited."
I agree.
Everybody was like, "Yeah, man, from the QC. He represented the QC, man."
All right, so let's give me your winners for this weekend before we get up out of here. Who's going to the NFC and AFC championship game?
Who's going? I got the Lions and the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC championship game.
All right, who you got in the AFC championship?
AFC championship game, I got. This is a fun one. This is a fun one. I got the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills finally back in the AFC Championship. Watch them screw it up.
I got CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans doing magic.
Woo!
And the Buffalo Bills.
So you're really thinking this is gonna happen? This is what you want to happen, Keith. This is wishful.
I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. I told you I don't care.
You don't care? You okay with? So you want to see Baltimore again?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Baltimore again. But I think CJ. I mean, I'm going with Bang Bang Niner game. Houston is San Francisco South. So let's go. Bobby Slowick, you'll be a head coach. Dallas should hire you, but they're keeping Mike McCarthy, so good. Sure. So, but Bobby Slowick is going to get a job after what he did with CJ Stroud this year. I think D'Amico's going to cook up a good game plan. It's their second time seeing Lamar. Why not? Damn. And see, I like Lamar, so I know the narrative is going to be he can't get it done in the playoffs. Yeah. And I got Buffalo.
Without them MVPs, he getting the same energy Dak Prescott getting as far as playoff victories.
Right.
But nah, man, it's tough, man, because I'm enjoying what I'm seeing in Houston, but I'm
right, DJ.
I want to see Lamar. I want to see Lamar get there. I want to see Lamar get his just due, especially after what he just went through with all that contract stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, what he went through is over because he got the contract.
Right. That's what I mean. You know, he got the contract, you know what I mean? And then, you know, this would just really do it for him. I want to see him win. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. Another good wrap it up Wednesday. Good joint, man.
Gonna beat it, we keep up.
Hey, we out of here, man. We'll be back. Thanks for participating, guys. Like and subscribe channel on YouTube. Do whatever. Thank you guys for showing up, man.
Good night.